Hello everybody. In this video I'll be talking about how I cut my own hair. So I did cut my own hair, I think it was a week ago today, and I generally cut the front and sides of my hair twice for every once that I cut the back. And the reason is, well, I don't really know what the reason is. It just seems like I can't have it too long in the front because it can flop around and it's a mess, and it's harder for me to do some stuff like wash my hair in a really big hurry really fast or something like that. But yeah, the thing of it is also is that cutting it in the front and sides is a lot easier than cutting in the back. But to cut it in the front and sides, I get it wet and then I comb it straight down, and I make sure it's even, like everything's even all around. I don't know how to explain that any better other than to say, like, it's perfectly even. It's not like pushed over to one side or the other. So then when it's straight, I generally just cut it straight across, and it can be tapered downwards, like, from higher up to lower down, but I think I did that a little bit this time. And then when I get to the back where it's long, in the back, longer that is, I just kind of find that natural point where it changes in length. And, I just kind of fine tune it and take itty bitty little snips and to even it up. So, obviously it's not going to be like a one shot thing where you're just going to cut straight across really quickly and be done in just like a few minutes. But I keep recombing it straight down evenly all around. And then if it's a little bit longer here or there, I take itty bitty little snips. Like I'll hold a little bit and then I'll just snip it, with scissors, and you just kind of keep looking at it, you eyeball it, and, just common sense, right? And you'll figure it out. So you just do it, and it saves a lot of money. And then when I do the back, I used to do it like I would hold one mirror up with one hand, and then I would have a mirror on the wall behind me in the bathroom, and then I would just kind of like snip it with the other hand. So one hand's holding the mirror like this, and the other hand is snipping. And I'm looking into that little mirror, and then, of course, I can see myself in that back mirror through the little mirror in front. Well, the problem with that is that when I snip it with my right hand with the scissors, it moves the hair a little bit. And then I have to keep combing it straight. But then I found a new way, so I invented this new way. Actually, I have two new ways. So one way was then I would shift hands. So now I would shift the mirror hand. I would set the scissors down, put the mirror in my right hand, and look back. And while I'm looking back through the two mirrors, you look in the front mirror to see behind what's in back in the mirror on the wall. I would grab the hair with my left hand exactly where I want it cut and hold it there. While I'm doing that, I set down the mirror and I pick up the scissors, and then just by feel, so I'm holding it in my fingers, the top of my fingers, is exactly where it needs to be cut. So I'm holding it, and then I reach back and I just snip. So it's done by feel. You just don't really, you don't get a chance to look. And then you comb it straight, and then you check it, and you keep doing the snips and snips. And that can work out pretty well. It was working out well at first, but then as it had been without doing that, with just the scissors in one hand and the mirror in the other, well, what happened was it was getting uneven. Like it would go up on one side, and then it would go up to compensate for that. It would go up even higher on the other side, and it was just going up, 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 and it was getting shorter and shorter, and then it got a lot shorter than I wanted it to be, which is why I generally end up cutting it once in the back for every twice I cut it in the front. But there's a new way I found out. So the new way is you can generally just do what I was saying, like find your snips, like your mirror's in one hand, and then you find out where you want it, then you switch the mirror, you switch the mirror to the other hand, and then while you're looking in both mirrors, you find where you want to cut it, right, and hold it there. While you're holding that, you set down the mirror and pick up the scissors, and then by feel you cut it. But it's not going to be perfect. So then you get it as even as you can without going up, left and right and trying to even it up and getting it shorter and shorter. But you get it about as even as you can without cutting it too short. And then I take a pair of trimmers, electric trimmers, and you can use either kind, like the battery-powered kind that's for trimming your face, or you can use the kind that's really meant for hair that you plug into the wall. But you look back, then you look back holding the mirror in one hand and the trimmers in the other, and you fine tune it, like you just press it right in where it needs to be evened up. Just do those little evening up, and then you can set everything down and comb it straight, and then look in the mirror again and press. Just get those itty bitty little uneven parts till it's all straight and, you know, evenly the length you want it in the back. And that's how I ended up doing it the very last time, and it worked very well. Although, again, I was still kind of like going up, like higher on one side, then higher on the other, then even higher on the other, and it was getting, you know, like higher and higher and shorter, trying to even it out. But I think you can fine tune it a lot better with a pair of electric either trimmers or clippers that are used for either shaving your face or your hair, because it's just easier that way. You'll figure it out. So you got to look back in the mirror and then hold it with one hand and then make sure it's like level and in the right spot. And you just kind of push in there, and then you can recomb your hair and see if it's all straight. So that's how I ended up doing it last time. And you can be more ambitious if you want, like make it, you know, like kind of like tapered or something, whatever you want to do. But anyway, so that's how I did my hair last week. I think it was just 1 week ago I cut it myself, and that worked out pretty well. Anyway, I hope this video isn't too long, and hope you all are having a great time out there. Thanks a lot.